And list size it's a very ego-driven thing. Like, oh yeah, my list size is 40,000, 300,000, 10,000, whatever it is.
But
Uh,
only two people open my email, right?
yeah, and what
Like it's
people don't
big,
realize,
but
yeah, it's pretty humbling when your 40K list is actually a 12K list, or your 500,000 list is actually only 80K because the majority have opted out, bounced, inbox isn't valid, or my favorite and the latest thing is bots are injecting fake contacts into databases with real emails that have been scraped.
what?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Creating Powerful Impact. I'm your host, Shay Wheat. And today I have somebody that I ran into at an event. Again, another reason why events are so great and amazing. But I've used his product and then I ran into him and I'm like, oh my God, did you what? Oh, okay. I need you to come on to the show and talk to us. So today we have Dave Lee, who is a marketing automation pioneer for over 20 years. He's a best-selling author. He's the co-founder of a couple of different companies, Sixth Division, PlusThis, and the most recent company, ListDefender, which are all tools that have helped thousands of businesses create scalable, automated client journeys. And he's really known for blending just smart strategy with the right software. And I also know that his passion really lies in helping others build automatic businesses that work even when they're not. So please help me welcome Dave to the Creating Powerful Impact stage. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I loved it. When I met you and you're like, yeah, my name's Dave. And I'm like, cool, what do you do? And so on and so forth. And you're like, plus this. I was like, oh my God, I've used plus this for our events. Like, holy cow. Nice to meet you. So
Well, it's an honor.
amazing.
It's
I
an
love
honor. It's
it.
fun.
Well, would you do me a favor and give us just a little bit of your backstory, real super brief of like
Yeah.
where you were and then how did, your transition come about?
Yeah. Well, the brief backstory is the CEO of Infusionsoft, which got rebranded as Keep, which was acquired by Thrive now.
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
know that.
that CEO and I went to business school together, and we were friends. We went to an internet startup together, so we were in biz dev together. He went off to Arizona. I ended up in San Diego, and we just stayed in touch. And I started consulting them back in 2003, 2004, and then joined full time in 2005, February of 2005. Like that's 20 years ago.
I know.
And Infusionsoft at the time, they were the only thing out there. They were the marketing automation platform for small businesses and entrepreneurs. And it was a wild, crazy ride. To make a long story short, my current business partner and I both got fired, let go for different reasons. And we eventually paired up. We were actually at a Salesforce.com event in San Francisco. We were working for another company that was more mid-market enterprise, and at the Salesforce conference, and we're like, okay, this content is just so terrible and so basic. And so we ended up going to a Staples or something like that and getting one of those giant poster size post-it note things, went back to a hotel room and spent the 3 days actually mapping out the opportunity. This was in 2010-ish, 10, 11. And we saw this gaping hole in the industry for entrepreneurs and small businesses that were buying the wish, buying the hope, buying the dream in automation tools, and then ending up on the donor program and just paying the monthly recurring subscription and never really using it or using very little. So it became clear to us that there was a huge opportunity in the consulting coaching side of, hey, small business entrepreneur person, we know you're an expert at X, but you're terrible at defining your process, your customer journey, and making it a repeatable, scalable thing so that you're not banging your head, your team's not banging their heads, and your clients aren't frustrated. So we built that. It became a seven-figure business during year one and just went from there. So that business is sixth division. The really cool thing is my true love is in software. Like ever since 1980, I don't know, six, seven, I had one of the very first Prodigy accounts. That predates even AOL. Like I had a 14.4K modem, if anybody knows what that is. That's how young I am. Um, and I always love software and internet enabled content and apps and tools and things, and would actually use it to look up the Lake Tahoe ski report. Because instead of back then, you had to phone up each resort to get the report. Well, I could get that through my Prodigy account. So it was magical to me at the time. I applied that in sixth division and also in Fusionsoft, but really sixth division as we were working one-on-one in the trenches with entrepreneurs and seeing where they were running into limitations with Infusionsoft or other tools that they were using. We would just have our developer build a script, a tool, or whatever to do that. For example, people that wanted to use video marketing in their marketing and sales and fulfillment efforts, they wanted to be able to, based on how much an actual contact, a person watched a video, they wanted to send them down two different paths. Like if they watched less than 10 seconds, send them down this path. If they watched more than 30 seconds, like create an opportunity record, assign a sales rep, reach out to them, send them different follow-up materials. And so we built these tools. Before we knew it, we had a couple dozen, and that just went on. And now we have over 100 tools that we've built over the years. And so like in terms of like a really cool concept, and people like Dan Kennedy and others talk about this, the main business sometimes spawns a secondary business that's more profitable. And so our consulting coaching business, sixth division, spawned a software company called PlusThis. We build tools, and to this day, the sixth division is really the R&D arm, like the idea generating arm, because they're in the trenches with clients, seeing what they're running into, and then they tell our PlusThis team, our developers, like, hey, it would be really cool if we could get Go High Level to do this thing, or Active Campaign to do this or whatever. So we just continue to churn out tools, and I love it.
That's so smart to be thinking about how you have the one business where you're gaining the insight, and then you have the other business to go, well, I just need you to go make that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I can serve this customer better.
It. Yeah. So I see it in the services industry where let's say a cosmetic dentist is very expert at what they do, and they just crush it on social media and marketing, and they've built their own internal systems. Like I see it time and time again that they then will become a coach for other cosmetic dentists, and all of a sudden they're a coach, not a dentist, but they're doing both, and one's mega profitable and scalable, and the other one like pays the bills and it's what they do professionally. But I see it time and time again. And so for us, we really just stumbled into it because at the time we had no intentions of building a software company. Like that was the last thing we wanted to do. We were, I was all about the big sale and the big ticket sales and bring clients in, help them get the results, and then we're done. And like software scales slowly sometimes, recurring revenue model scales slowly sometimes. And so we really weren't looking to do that. So we would build these tools and literally give them to our clients, like go install this on your server. And they're like, well, here are my GoDaddy credentials. Can you just go load it up for me? We're like, we can't do anything with your GoDaddy account. And so they just had no.
Yeah.
And we were silly for thinking that we could just give them these scripts and tools and things. And so we ended up building a platform where we would host it, we would maintain it, they would just log into it and configure and go, set it and forget it. And that was a huge learning lesson. Like we really did, it just kind of happened. We stumbled into it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we did because I love software.
Yeah. Well, and it's so true. Like you were saying, the dentist that then goes and helps other dentists grow their practice. I've got clients of mine. I have a child care center that is the same way, business owner. I've got an orthopedic surgeon that's helping people get out of insurance into cash-based businesses. Like it makes so
Well,
much
that
sense.
artist, that painter that we were talking about at Gio's event, who now coaches and trains and does big events teaching people how to paint in mass. It was so cool.
It was so, it's one of my favorite events
Yeah.
to date for sure. I mean, painting. There was like 250 people painting. It was amazing. Anyways, we digress. I'm curious, Dave, would you talk a little bit about like how email lists have become like one of the most neglected assets to a business owner? And is there anything that we can be doing? What should we know about it? Is there any way to protect it, to grow and nurture it? What should we be looking at and anything we should
Yeah.
forecast?
Yeah. I'm biased. I've been in marketing automation, which is, really email marketing based, lead capture, web forms, email marketing, but also other things, social media and AI. But email continues to be a huge component of a client or customer journey in getting them to educate them, to get them to convert, to deliver things to them is still a lot significantly email based. And like regardless of platform, and we work with a lot of different platforms, GHL, ActiveCampaign, Ontraport, Keep, now Thrive, and others. And all of them are still very heavily email based. And it's funny because we see a couple of things. Number one, customers get really frustrated at these platforms because their deliverability sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually really it's an unfair assessment. Like that just goes to show people don't know what's really going on behind the scenes, and they should be pointing their fingers right back at themselves. Like it's because we are terrible at maintaining and protecting this asset. Like it's a business asset, the list, the customer list, the prospect list. There's value there. And, we let it atrophy. We don't take care of it. We spend lots of money generating leads
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and spending money on advertising and trying to get them to opt into stuff and get them into our database, whatever database that is. And then we like treat it horribly. Like who really actually has a strategy or efforts around list hygiene and maintenance and engagement? And do you send based off of that information? Very, very, very few people do. And list size it's a very ego-driven thing. Like, oh yeah, my list size is 40,000, 300,000, 10,000, whatever it is.
But
Uh,
only two people open my email, right?
yeah, and what
Like it's
people don't
big,
realize,
but
yeah, every time you send a broadcast to that list, every time we have soft bounces, hard bounces, it ends up in spam traps where, people are watching those providers, Gmail, Outlook, and others are Yahoo, they're looking to see, are you as a sender sending to these boxes? If you are, then they basically blacklist you and don't let the email get delivered to any Gmail account. Um,
oh,
so we've developed lots of bad habits over the years as entrepreneurs, as marketers, and neglecting the email list is a big deal. So when people complain of I have low deliverability or my provider gives me low deliverability, there's a lot to look out at there. And we've built tools to help with that process.
yeah. What would you say, like in a perfect world for somebody to go, I'm not getting really good deliverability. I want to increase my deliverability. What do they need to start putting in place, or how do they need to start interacting with their list? How frequent? Like, what would you suggest to get it moving and clean and them really loving on their list?
Yeah. First thing, there's some simple plumbing, kind of back-end plumbing checks you can do. There are online free tools, but I would definitely check your SPF record, your DKIM. These are, I don't want to get too technical in this session, but there are some simple things you can do to see if you're set up properly, even if you're using a GHL or an Active Campaign or a Keep or whatever to do your email marketing. Any tool that sends out emails for you, you should check to make sure that the SPF, the DKIM, and some of these other DNS records are set up properly. You can just go into ChatGPT and say, hey, what do I need to check to get best email deliverability? Like, and it'll teach you and show you and point you to tools that can help you do that. Separate from that, looking at engagement of your list and then just doing some basic checks. Like we have a tool called ListDefender. It's a new company that we launched, new tool that we launched. And it's funny, not funny. Over the past we went through almost a year beta period, and I was working one-on-one with entrepreneurs and connecting their email marketing system to ListDefender. It does a pre-scan, and it's pretty humbling when your 40K list is actually a 12K list, or your 500,000 list is actually only 80K, because the majority have opted out, bounced, inbox isn't valid, or my favorite and the latest thing is bots are injecting fake contacts into databases with real emails that have been scraped.
What?
Yeah, it's a big, big problem. And so imagine this. And we have a client that we just went through this with them. They had to shut off all marketing, pull down all lead capture forms because bots were attacking their forms and injecting thousands of fake contacts a day with real emails. So imagine that. You think like the data is showing like, this is great, tons of opt-ins, numbers look great, marketing spend is awesome, it's effective. And then you realize that you get contacted by your email provider saying, hey, we're going to shut you down because you're a spammer. And so there's this disconnect. It's like, no, I'm a legitimate business.
Yeah.
And I'm spending money to advertise, to get leads. I'm capturing those. I'm following up. And then you discover that this bot has been attacking you. And so it's adding real emails with fake contact data. Your autoresponder emails start firing off to these people that are supposedly opted in. And like lots of them are just either bouncing or they're immediately marking them as spam because they never opted in.
Right.
And there's a reason for why these fraudulent people have created bots to do this. It's for extortion and financial purposes. But for an entrepreneur who's experiencing this, it's horrible because now you're like, I don't know what's real. I don't know how to stop it. My deliverability has plummeted. My email reputation has plummeted. And so to rehabilitate that just takes some effort in identifying what's going on and how to stop the bot and protect forms. So that's another big component that because we saw people experiencing it, we built solutions for it to help, identify where is your list a mess?
Mm-hmm.
Who should you not be sending to? Who's fake? Who's real? What's a real inbox? What's not? And then protecting forms. So that's probably one of the biggest issues that we're seeing, like critical issues that we're seeing out there, is these bots that are adding contacts to your list and you don't even know it.
So is that where like the confirm you're a human type of thing comes into play?
You would think
Oh
that
no,
like
they gotten around that
they've
too.
gotten around that too. You'd think that
Wow.
like Cloudflare CAPTCHA would catch that, and they're very crafty people. I hope to meet them someday. But their bots will actually bypass all of your form controls, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
and just kind of slip through the back door and go right into your database and start the campaign or automation that's tied to that form that they bypassed. And it's very nasty. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So for those that, haven't gotten into that piece, but they maybe want to like clean up their list, is there an easy way to clean it up? Do you recommend like removing people if they haven't been engaging for a certain amount of time, putting them in a different database and marketing to them separately? Like, what do you suggest?
Yeah. So there's a whole nother episode day event we could do on email deliverability and you know dedicated IPs versus shared IPs and warming up your list and your IP and all of that. But um, what one of our tools does, ListDefender, is it connects directly to your database and just monitors it and
Mm,
tells you as the marketer, as the entrepreneur, hey, these people are red. Do not send to them. They're either fake or it's a bad email or they're opted out or like just don't send to them. Yellow are people that have been unengaged for X number of time. Usually it's 60, 90 days is when we start telling people, hey, um, if they have not engaged in that time frame, you want to drop them into a dedicated re-engagement automation or campaign. And
mm,
that we've got content and stuff on that. You can chat GPT that, like, hey, help me build out a really cool engagement campaign that sounds like me and that will get them to re-engage and click. And that's what you want, is you want them to open and click those emails so that they are re-engaged. As soon as they do that, they get tagged as green. Everybody else is green, they're good to send to. So
okay.
um, I would say on average, regardless of list size, anywhere from 20 to 70% of the list is dead usually.
Wow.
So yeah, when you say you have bad deliverability, well, if you remove all of that garbage, well, it might hurt here, like the heart, like the ego. Um, it'll actually massively improve your deliverability, like almost immediately.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Stop sending the garbage.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Um, Now, from my perspective, I'm the event world, right? I would love to hear how you guys can support somebody that is hosting an event, how to help with the show up rate, how to help with registration and check-in. Like, are there things that automation can support with to make it so it's easier on the event side, it's easier on the attendees, it's easier on the event host?
Yes. We have a number of tools on the PlusThis side of our business. We've got tools to help with registration, help with follow-up, with check-in. I remember back in the day at a digital marketer event, their check-in process was a disaster. Ryan, please forgive me, but it was, and everybody knows it was. People were waiting for hours waiting to check in. We built a quick check-in tool. They could just scan a QR code and get people checked into the event very quickly. So yeah, we've got tools like that. And then we also built a standalone tool called Slottable, which I didn't even mention to you before. It's
Yeah.
slottable.com, slottable.com. And that is a standalone kind of group event registration booking tool. And for both paid and unpaid events in person and also virtual. So we just kind of, I don't know, we see where the need is and we build it. And we're not looking to build a massive thing here, just things that actually work and make life easier for an entrepreneur. And events, as you know, events can get very tricksy. A
They
lot of
can.
moving parts.
Well, and depending on the size, we also want to make it very engaged and very customizable, right?
Yeah,
So it's like you've got people that are registered and then people that show up, and then you have people
yeah,
that don't show up. And
yeah,
how can we, instead of, having to actually pick up the phone and call every single person, it's fine when you have a 60-person event. It's a little
yeah,
harder when you're at 300 people.
yeah,
Making those phone calls.
yeah,
How can we utilize automation and think about what's out there to do
yeah,
that? But I'm sure we can
yeah,
chat more about that too.
yeah, yeah. Here's a great example. So if people are using webinars as part of their marketing strategy, and you're using GoToWebinar, Zoom, whatever, usually people use the registration form of that platform. So they're getting registered in GoToWebinar, let's say, or in Zoom. And then they're either showing up or they're not showing up. Well, a good marketer would actually download the data from Zoom, let's say, into their CRM system to email the people to, hey, here are all the pre-event stuff. Here's the prep stuff. Bring this, don't bring this. And then have different automations or campaigns based on show versus no show. To do that, you would then need to like grab that data out, bring it into your CRM, match it up. Like it's a complex thing. So we built a tool that does that automatically. So that's one of the tools in PlusThis, both for GoToWebinar, Zoom, and a couple other webinar platforms where it just automatically does it. People register using your CRM's forms. We push the data over into Zoom, let's say. You hold the event in Zoom in 2 weeks or a month or whatever. And then based on attendance, it automatically tells your CRM like, hey, these 312 people came. I want to send them down this path. And the 116 that didn't come, we want to send them down the naughty path for not showing up and get them to come back to the next one or whatever it is. So
Nice.
that can be a very complex process for a marketer, like to manually do all that. That's
do all
hours
of
and
that
hours,
flow.
and most people just don't do it. But we've built a tool where you set it, forget it, and it just handles all of it. So that kind of stuff, I love hearing about the problem and then having our developers and team create solutions that make it like really brain dead simple for entrepreneurs.
I love it. I love it. My next question for you is, AI is just flipping everywhere right now. And, you know, some of it's great and amazing and fantastic, and some of it's not all that helpful. My question for you is like, how are you thinking about AI in the context of solving the meaningful problems for you and your users?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm seeing lots of cases where people are using AI just to use AI,
Yeah.
like just so they can slap it on their product or their site or whatever. And you can tell, like there's really no point in it. It's kind of gimmicky. But so I would encourage everybody to look for practical uses. Where can it practically help you in your business? Um, for us, I can think of 3 areas immediately where we're using AI extensively. Number one, we used to hire copywriters to write all of our copy. Like we use AI now.
Yeah.
Between Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, we will use that to at least like for brainstorming, ideation, and for first or second drafts, and then we'll fine tune. That's one area where we've saved a ton of time and money. Same thing for our clients. That is usually the stopping point for people that are building out client journeys and educational journeys for their prospects and customers. It's like we can build out the whole shell and the automation and their tool of choice and get all the templates ready to go. And when it comes time for them to fill in those templates with the actual copy, the email, that's where it just stops dead in the water. Now they don't. They're actually able to get it done, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's one area, like anything that needs to be written or researched. Another area is in support. If you support clients in any way and use a ticketing system or any kind of support like that, AI has really made a massive impact.
Hmm.
Like I mean, I probably spent $250,000 a year on bodies, on full-time resources in our office that did nothing but support our software customers.
Mhm.
And now we have one
Wow.
and AI.
Yeah. Because it's all in the
So
knowledge base and it'll just pull from that.
knowledge-based chat, like virtual chat, AI chat, like that are very responsive and will look up our whole repositories of like we can create a box with all of our help content over 10 years and say, hey, Mr. Chatbot, only reference this box here when you're responding
Yeah.
and learn from it. And it's kind of freaky and magical, but it's awesome. The other area is in our own software where we're using AI to both build but also be a part of our AI. Like imagine like part of our detection of email list cleaning and hygiene and engagement is we look very carefully at people's names and inbox names and stuff like that. And one of the things that we look for is vulgar terms. Like you usually don't send to people that say, fu at whatever.com. Like that's usually a fake email. And so we'll detect that. But sometimes the combination of first name, last name will create a vulgar term unintentionally. And so we have AI that will detect that and let that still be a green email that people can send to. So otherwise we'd have people needing to review that. And so, yeah, lots of, I would look for what are my biggest pains and issues and problems? What are my most costly areas? And can I practically apply AI to solve those? That would probably be the most basic recommendation for anybody that's considering looking at AI.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness, Dave, we'll probably have to have another conversation for sure. This has been so incredibly insightful. And something that really stands out to me is how deeply you and your company listen, not just to like what your clients are saying, but to what it is that they're struggling with, essentially kind of quietly. You've really built that business of a way of like answering the questions your clients didn't even know how to ask. So thank you so much for that. If people were interested in connecting with you, what's the best way for them to do that? And do you happen to have a gift for our audience today?
Absolutely. Yes. Probably best is either Facebook or LinkedIn. Facebook is facebook.com/dave.lee, I think. And LinkedIn in/DaveLee123. Happy to connect with anybody, especially if you're a kite surfer. I'm always looking for excuses to go kite surfing with new people. So yeah, it's the new golf course of doing business for
One of
entrepreneurs.
my certified event producers in Hawaii does kite surfing.
Oh, let's go. Can you do an intro?
Happy to introduce you to her.
I'd love to do an intro
They also
there.
have a pizza making company her husband has.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Let's
fun.
go. Let's do it. In
And then
terms
the
of
gift.
Yeah, free gift. Probably the best one that'd be most helpful for most people on this call is we have a compilation over the years of our very top customers like Ryan Dice, Frank Kern, and others that are using really unique ways and strategies and methodology and using technology to make it happen. We basically connect with them. We say, hey, this is really cool what you're doing. Can we feature it? We'll dive in. We document everything that they've done, why they're doing it, screenshots of everything, the front end, and also the back end of how they set it up with technology. So it's called campaignsofThetitans.com. It's a free download. There are multiple volumes. Like go in, get your hands dirty. It's crazy good. It's really good content. It's all pure content. So
I love it.
how-tos what the best people are doing. Yep.
Perfect. So we will definitely have the link to that in the show notes. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I want to thank our listeners. This is really your invitation to kind of tune into your people's real pain, just like Dave does, and get curious, build something that actually changes their day-to-day reality. And that's what it comes down to, is really what impact looks like. So don't forget to check out all the links, including PlusThis.com, to learn more about what Dave and his crew are doing. And if this episode lit a fire for you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who needs to build smarter, not harder. Until next time, have an outstanding rest of your day. Take care. Thank you so much for listening to the Creating Powerful Impact podcast. If you are a successful coach, speaker, author, or thought leader who would like to be on this program, simply visit creatingpowerfulimpact.com/guest. If you are someone who got something out of this interview, would you please do me a favor and share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on your socials. Also, if you know somebody that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show, and include the hashtag creating powerful impact. I love seeing all of your posts and great guest selections. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they really mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more about us? Head on over to our website, graceandeaseproductions.com, or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Just look for Grace and Ease Productions on your favorite platform. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.